Hello there. I'm Mr. Weaver, Kevin Weaver, and I am the teacher in the theology department that teaches philosophy. And your students are involved in my class right now, but they're actually involved in a much larger picture here of what we call a senior seminar. So they will go on from me on to what other classes they chose. There'll be two other what we call modules of the senior seminar of actual coursework where they will be with me for the first quarter, possibly with Mr. Malarkey, Father Stephen, Mr. Stormer. There's a few other teachers involved here that have different courses they've chosen and have to look on their own schedules to see what they have coming up next. But they'll take three of those courses within the theology department at the senior level, and then I'll say something about the rest of that at the end because there's a culmination of all this that happens at the end. But again, I'm Mr. Weaver, and I have the syllabus posted for this course in the same area, I think, where you found this video. It should be there at least. And I have posted my phone number on there, and that's really the best way to get hold of me. If you want to, in fact, the very best way would be just to send me a text message at any time you need to, not just if it's an emergency, but anytime you need to, and let me know that we need to speak, and I will see that quicker than anything else, and then I will get back with you my next break, next opportunity, which will be relatively quick. The second best way to get hold of me is at the school email. That's kweaver@cashahall.com. And I will see that, of course. I check it a couple times over the weekend usually, but I'll also check it daily during the week, multiple times a day between classes. So I'll definitely see that. If it's not real pressing and it can wait, that's an okay way to get hold of me as well. In this class, we're a little bit unique. We don't have that many schools in Oklahoma, maybe not too many at all, that teach philosophy at the high school level. But we do, and it's really a Western philosophy class, and we'll be discussing or reading about and discussing some of the more major philosophical topics and questions and the philosophers themselves. We're going to start with some general material. We're already into that right now, and then we'll talk about here, probably coming up next week, about the pre-Socratic philosophers, and then we'll move on from there. A lot of that will be covered in the reading. We have a textbook that's a very popular college textbook for philosophy, first level freshman philosophy or first level philosophy. So I told the students there's a good chance that they'll see that textbook again next year or year after next, whenever they might take that course. So I hope that they have a leg up on the rest of the students. But we will move on into the 20th century, and we only have a little bit of time, and that time's a little bit limited, even more so now with us only meeting half the time and then a day online and squeezing in another day here and there. So we'll move as fast as we can and get as much done as possible. The bulk of the class is lecture, but discussion is always welcome as long as it has something that's relevant to that we're talking about in class, and that's usually not a problem. And I can tell already this class is pretty well engaged, both groups, A and B. So I'm not too concerned about that being an issue, and they're engaged in a positive way. The students just need to have a spiral notebook or pages and loose leaf paper in their notebook that they can dedicate to this class for note taking. And then we have the two books, the one I mentioned, the college textbook, Does the Sinner Hold? And by Donald Palmer. And then we'll also be reading in the next 3 or 4 weeks a book by the philosopher Plato called The Trial and Death of Socrates. And that's also a book that I'll probably run into again in some form, or at least some part of that book, maybe apology or something like that. The grading is done for this class is all done by total points. The tests are worth, there's really just two kinds of grades, tests and quizzes. The tests are worth 100 points. The quizzes, which will primarily be over the reading assignments, are worth 20 points. So the tests are worth the biggest chunk of your grade, 70%, and the quizzes are worth 30% of your grade. And I dropped the lowest quiz grades because we'll have 4 or 5 quizzes over the whole quarter, and whatever the lowest quiz grade is, that'll be dropped. As it'll drop as soon as we have 2 quiz grades. It'll pick the lowest one and drop it. So, and continue to drop whatever if there happens to be a lower one. I hope not. The grading scale is what we're used to. 100 to 90% is in the A range. But of course, within that, there's A plus, A minus, 89, 80, B. But again, B plus, B minus, goes all the way down then from there. So pretty standard. Let me get back real quick to the whole, the bigger picture. Again, they'll have me, then they'll have another teacher, and then after mini-semester, they'll have a 3rd quarter senior seminar class. And then in that 4th quarter, they will be writing a senior thesis. And the senior thesis is meant the intent is they'll take a topic that interests them from one of the 3 classes they've taken, or maybe combining some type of topic from 2 or maybe 3 classes. I haven't seen that done before, but that's possible, and really incorporate that into an academic research paper. There'll be a lot more said about that as we get closer, probably actually as early as just after a mini-semester, so we're at the beginning of 3rd quarter. We'll have a morning where we'll meet with the seniors, probably in the chapel or a PAC, where we can spread out maybe there, and they'll all hear the same thing at the same time. They're all going to get written guidelines, fairly detailed written guidelines, so nobody can come back later and say, oh, I didn't know that, or I wasn't told that, because it's pretty well spelled out the way in the format, and the mechanics of it all is pretty straightforward. We follow the rules from the English department, and they shouldn't have any problem. That they'll get a grade, of course, for 1st and 2nd quarter. My class and whatever they take next quarter, that'll be combined to make a 1st semester grade. And then the 3rd quarter class counts for a grade. And the 4th quarter, since they're writing that paper, that's really their only grade for 4th quarter. So they will combine their 3rd quarter class grade, whatever that is, with their grade they get on the senior thesis to make up their 2nd semester grade for senior seminar. I hope that answers some questions. I feel like that's usually left a little bit unanswered until we have back to school night. So if you have any other questions, again, feel free to email me or text me and have me call you back, and I'll be happy to talk about it with you. It's pretty, for me, I've been with it since they started doing this. It's been a long time. So I'm pretty familiar with it. We've made some changes here and there, but it's basically the same kind of project we've been doing, just the mechanics have changed a little bit. If you have any other questions about the class or questions for me or concerns, please don't hesitate to call. And I know probably a lot of teachers say that. I mean it, and I will get back with you as soon as possible, and happy to discuss anything with you. I hope we all stay healthy this year. Be thinking about us, pray for us, teachers and students here together. The kids are doing a great job really distancing themselves, and everyone's wearing their mask. I'm only not wearing a mask now because school has been out for over an hour and the kids are all out of the building. But we've all been really good, and it's good to see that the kids have been following suit here with what's required. They seem to already know what to do, to be honest with you, so it's good to see that. Okay, I hope that we get a chance to meet in person this year sometime. I hope that things get to the point where we can do that. So I'll just count on that, and I will say goodbye for now. I've gone over time, and I have a habit of doing that. And I will look forward to meeting you in a normal way sometime very soon. Okay? Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.